Hi students, today we are going to deal with the second part of this geography third chapter, water resources. So in the last part, we have studied about water as a resource, the availability of water, then the reasons for the water scarcity, then what has been done to preserve water, construction of dams after independence, then the advantage, why dams are called multi-purpose projects, advantages of multi-purpose projects, and then disadvantages of multi-purpose projects. So why these multi-purpose projects were being criticized by the people, and what are the disadvantages of these projects, and all these things you learned. You hope you remember all that things. And then what was the alternative put forward was water harvesting system, only finding out some of the, by means of water harvesting system we can store water instead of building big dams. So let's see what are the different water harvesting systems found in India. So we'll see some different methods. So first one is khulls or gulls. So what are khulls or gulls? Khulls or gulls are the channels built in the hilly and mountainous region. So these are diversion channels just to divert the water from the hilly region, which are made for the purpose of agriculture to irrigate the fields. So you know where they are usually found. These are usually found in the hilly region. So here we built the most of the people of western Himalayan region built these types of channels for diverting water from the hilly region, from the mountain towards the irrigational fields. So these are known as gulls or gulls. So I hope you understood what is gulls or gulls. Gulls or gulls are channels built in the hilly and mountainous region. So here is a picture of, see, this is a picture of a kull where it's like a tank where water is being collected. Next one is Kadins and Johad. A Johad is rainwater storage tank principally used in the state of Haryana and Rajasthan in India that collects and stores water throughout the year to be used for the purpose of drinking by humans and cattle. So these tanks are collecting the water when it rains in that region. The water is being collected in this tank. So johads are usually found in arid and semi-arid regions. Arid and semi-arid region means the places like deserts where there is very less amount of rainfall received in a year. So johads are also known as kadins in Jaisalmer. So these are the pictures of kadins and johads. See how they are being constructed to store water. Next one is tankas. Tankas are built in semi-arid regions of Rajasthan, particularly in Bikaner, Palodi and Barmar. See, all the houses in these regions have traditionally an underground tank or tankas for storing drinking water. They are a method of rainwater harvesting system built inside main house or courtyard. So usually these tankas varies in size. In some houses it is very large. For example, a tanka in one household in Palodi had a tank that has 6.1 meter deep, 4.27 meter long and 2.44 meter wide. And these tankas were partly well-developed rooftop rainwater system and were built inside the main house and the courtyard. So they are connected to the sloping roof of the houses through pipes. So this is said to be to maintain cool temperature inside the house. So this is used for drinking purposes. Water is used for drinking purposes, and it is mainly stored for the summer season, and this water will be said to last till the next rainy season. So that is about tankas. So you can see the picture of tanka here. See, look here, this is a tanka built in arid region, just like a well itself, closed well where water is being collected. So here is inundation channel. Inundation channels are are found usually in the floodplains of Bengal. So in the floodplains of Bengal, people developed inundation channel to irrigate their fields. So these are channels to take off water from large rivers and are often meant to carry the overflow of water from rivers and other water bodies to fields. So when these channels are being built, the flood water, the river, when it overflows, it will not spread through all areas. It will go through these channel and it will drain the agricultural fields. So that is the advantage. Instead of bringing out flood, this water is diverted through these channels. And so that's why these channels are being built, so that floods can be maintained. There will be no occurrence of flood. So this is the picture of an inundation channel. So you can see how the water is being taken through this in the channel to different parts. Now we'll see how the rooftop rainwater harvesting system is maintained in certain places in India. So first we will take the example of Shillong. See, Shillong faces a huge shortage of water, and nearly every year, every household in the city has a rooftop rainwater harvesting structure. So nearly 15 to 25% of the total water requirements of this household comes from rooftop water harvest. So why is Shillong? See, you know that the place with heaviest rainfall in the world is Maushinram. So Maushinram and Shillong is the capital of Meghalaya, and Maushinram and again Cherrapunji, which is in Assam. Both these places are just 55 kilometers away from Shillong. But why does Shillong find scarcity in water? There is no rainfall in Shillong. What's the reason for that? See, Shillong is located on the upper or the leeward side of Garo, Kashi and Jaintia hills, which is rain shadow area. So when you have studied about in your last year's chapter climate, you have studied about the monsoon wind moving the Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal branch. So when the Bay of Bengal branch reaches the areas of Meghalaya, this hills, Garo, Kashi and Jaintia, because of this hill, the wind will move towards the opposite side, that is windward side, and as Shillong is on the leeward side, it will not receive rainfall, whereas Maushinram, which is on the windward side, gets heavier rainfall. That is why Shillong is facing water scarcity. So all the houses, most of the houses in Shillong is having rainwater harvesting system. Next place we'll see is Jendadur. So Jendadur, a remote backward village in Karnataka. See, the villagers here had installed rooftop rainwater harvesting to meet their water needs. So nearly 200 households have installed this system, and the village has earned the rare distinction of collecting a large amount of water, and they are rich in rainwater. See here, Jendadur resists annual precipitation of 1000 millimeters, and with 80% of collection efficiency and of about 10 fillings, every household collects and uses about 50 liters of water annually. So from the 20 houses, the net amount of rainwater harvested annually amounts to 1 lakh liters. So that much of water is being collected, and they are far more sufficient in water due to this rainwater harvesting system. See the example of Tamil Nadu. See, Tamil Nadu is the first state in India which has made rooftop rainwater harvesting system compulsory to all the houses across the state. So, most of the houses in Tamil Nadu, almost all the houses in Tamil Nadu have rainwater harvesting system. So, there are even legal provisions to punish the defaulters. Those who are not keeping rainwater harvesting on the rooftop will be found as defaulters and will be punished. It is about how the rainwater harvesting is being done. See, rooftop rainwater is collected using PVC pipes first. Then it is filtered using sand and bricks. Then underground pipes takes water to sump. What is sump? A sump is a pit or a hole where water is collected for immediate usage. Then the excess water from sump is taken to the well and it is collected underground. This is how rainwater harvesting is being done. So here is a picture of a rainwater harvesting system in a house, a small drawing of how rainwater is being collected. So next is bamboo drip irrigation. This is another method of collecting rainwater. So in Meghalaya, a 200-year-old system of tapping stream and spring water by using bamboo pipes is prevalent. So these bamboos are being connected with one another and they are taken towards different parts of the field for watering. So about 18 to 20 liters of water enters the bamboo pipe system and it gets transported over hundreds of meters. See, when they are crossing a road, these bamboo pipes are being taken from above on top of a tree or somewhere, and then it is diverted again taken above the roads, and it is again connected. So in this way the bamboo pipes are connected to each other and they will be taking water from the hilltop through directly from the springs or streams, and it will be used for draining or watering the plants, so that when it reaches the final end, it will be the droplets will be 20 to 80 drops per minute, but still this is continuously flowing as it is. See, usually the rivers are perennial in that region. Himalayan rivers and the northeastern rivers are perennial, so the water will be there throughout the year, and this water will be used for watering the plants. So this is a picture of, see, bamboo drip irrigation. See, bamboos are being connected and water. You have a very detailed method of this bamboo drip irrigation in your textbook. So you can refer to that. So this is a method of how bamboos are connected and water is being taken through these bamboos to different parts of the irrigation, the agricultural field. So with this we come to an end of our chapter. So what we have to keep in mind, rainwater harvesting is much better than unnecessary water wasting. The water level is running low, so we have to be very careful to save rainwater. Remember what I told in the beginning of the chapter? By 2025, many people will be without water. Probably there will be a world war for getting water. So don't let rainwater run away. Let it run to the earth again. So keep in mind always sustainability, use less of water and take time to care before streams are bare. We have to keep in mind, save water, save life. So thank you. With this I conclude, and we'll see next week with another chapter. Goodbye.